In this video, we are going to solve two standard deviation example problems. In the first problem, it says, in a 5th grade class, the teacher was interested in the average age and the sample standard deviation of the ages of her students. The following data are the ages for a sample of n equals 20, so 20 5th grade students. The ages are rounded to the nearest half year. So we are looking for the average age and then the sample, that's an important keyword, standard deviation. So A says find the mean, the average, and the standard deviation on your calculator or computer. So if we go to our calculator, the first thing we want to do is we want to make sure that our lists, if you hit Stat and we're in Edit, we want to go to Edit, number 1, we want to clear out this list. So if you go back, hit the Stat button, go down to number 4, which is Clear List, and we want to clear L1. I do, because it's the only thing that I have data in. So now I can go back into Stat, and if I hit Edit and Enter, you'll notice that all of my lists are empty. And all we're going to do is put all of this data into L1. So I will do that now. Once I've entered the data in, if I go to the last data point, I can see that L1 is 20, so I have 20 data points, and that's good because up here it tells me that there are 20 5th grade students. So now that I've entered this in the list, I'm going to hit my Stat button again. I'm going to go over to Calculate, and I want to find the one variable stats, which is number 1, and hit Enter. We want the one variable stats from list 1, so you hit second and 1. Up in yellow, you'll see the L1 there. Hit Enter. What this gives me are a bunch of information here. If you'll notice that the X bar, the mean, is right up here. And let's round our answers to 2 decimal places, which means that our mean would be 10.53. Then we're going to jump down and we want to find the sample standard deviation, which in our calculators is this SX, and it's 0.71589. So we are going to round that to 2 decimal places, which is 0.2. If you continue to scroll down, you'll see here we have sigma x, which is our population standard deviation, n is the number of data values, our min, Q1, median, Q3, and max. So right now we don't need any of that. So we can clear out our calculator because next for B it says find the value that is 1 standard deviation above the mean. And so here it tells us exactly what we are finding. We are finding X bar, which is the mean, plus 1 times S, the standard deviation. So we are going to rewrite this like that. And you can go ahead and put that in your calculator exactly like that. 10.53 plus parentheses 1, close parentheses, open parentheses, 0.72, close parentheses, equals. So the value that's 1 standard deviation above the mean is 11.25. For C, we're finding 2 standard deviations below the mean. So we are going to subtract 2S. And again, we'll simply rewrite this and put this in our calculator. exactly as we have it here. And we have 9.09 is 2 standard deviations below the mean. Then it says for D, find the values that are 1.5 standard deviations from the mean. If it says from the mean, then you have to find both above and below the mean. So 1.5, we are going to have to find this, and then that. So above and below the mean. Now we just rewrite it, enter it into our calculator. I get 11.61. And for below the mean, you can do something easy here. I'm going to hit second, enter, and it just copies the last line that I did, and all I'm going to do is go up and change this plus to a minus, and I get 9.45. So one other thing we should start practicing is to box or circle your final answers. Okay, there we go. So that's the first problem. Let's take a look at this second problem. It says, on a baseball team, the ages of each of the players are as follows. And it gives us a list of ages. Use your calculator or computer to find the mean and standard deviation. Find the value that is 2 standard deviations above the mean. So we're looking for the mean, the standard deviation, and 2 standard deviations above the mean. So you can pause the video right now and try solving this on your own, and then start it again and check your work. So the first thing we're going to do, if you remember, is we are going to clear our list, then hit stat, and we want to enter this data in. So we will enter Okay, so I've got the data in here. I go to calc, one variable stats of list 1. I have my mean age for the baseball players is 30.68. This is a sample, remember, so my sample standard deviation is 6.09 for rounding to 2 digits. So those are my 2 answers for A. B says find the value that is 2 standard deviations above the mean. So that means we take the mean and we are going to add 2 standard deviations to it. So 30.68 plus 2 times 6.09. We just put that in our calculator, and our answer is 42.86.